I am on my patio. Those are a couple of my male quails. They have to be separated. They were fighting. And I am on my way to my garden, which is right there. This video is for my sister, Kimberly. Hi, sis. I wanted to show you my garden, but I don't know where to upload the video except on YouTube, so all of YouTube gets to see it as well, whoever my followers are. These are my baby ducks, and I'm trying to get them into their pool. The sides are really high. It's the only one option we had. It's too deep of a pool. Anyway, I built them some steps, and I put a little bit of food on each step, and they are not going in the pool yet. But we'll keep trying. Here, I'll splash a little. They always get really curious when I splash. Watch this. They're like, we're not coming over there. You're over there. They don't like me. That's okay. All right, so here is my garden that I wanted to show you. So this right here is my strawberry patch. There is nothing else that I planted in here except strawberries. Now, it's not strawberry season, and even though there's a ton of weeds growing in this strawberry patch, I don't worry about it too much, just because experience has told me that the strawberries come back equally as good the following year, so I just leave it alone. I was in the first year trying to pull out the weeds, and that was almost impossible. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this black right here was over all of the garden at one point, and I have pulled it back as I plant stuff. And of course I didn't put the black tarp over the strawberries. But I will show you, I didn't plant this tomato plant. But the tomatoes out here grow like crazy. And there's a tomato plant growing in my strawberry patch, which is fine. Okay, so here are my green bean plants. I have this one here, and I have this one here. And I already picked the green beans for today. Oh, sorry about my finger. Good grief. Here, it's kind of a bushy plant. You see the reason why my finger is in there. I'm glad you don't judge me. Okay, in any case, it also has some more blooms. So I only picked enough green beans from it today to last today. And last week I picked, I picked all of the green beans that I could find, and I ate them all in one sitting because I like green beans. But today I'm going to put it in my salad. And the reason I'm showing my garden is because I could probably use a little bit of help. I have no idea what I'm doing in my garden. All right. This is kind of a tall, I would say about 4 feet tall tomato plant, and I have a lot of tomato plants. I've got them kind of held up by stakes. I don't know how well you can see this, you know, because of the 2D effect, whatever. If you see this kind of thing all over my garden and cardboard and stuff, it's because I'm desperately trying to keep down these grasses. They're impossible. All right, but take a look, because I have different varieties of tomatoes, and some of them are just huge, but none of them are turning red yet. I really want tomatoes for my salad. Okay, but I'm going to show you. Oops, there's another stake that has fallen down, and I put twine with it to hold the. Okay, now I just broke it. I'll come back and fix it later. But I put twine with it in order to keep the tomatoes upright. But those beef stick tomatoes, they get so heavy. Anyway, I also have, look at the grasses over here. They're so bad. Okay, see this little tiny thing? That's supposed to be like a cherry tomato. And I have one, but the grasses are so bad. They grow, the grass, they're so hard. The grasses are so hard to keep down. So my tomato cherries aren't doing great. All right, I will show you. All right, see these little flower things right here? And there. Oh, look, there's another little tomato plant. I definitely planted everything too close together this year. But in any case, those flower things, they belong to my onions, which I planted, my little bulbs. And I haven't actually checked, so you're going to be the first to check with me to see how well they grew. That's okay, huh? It's not great. I wish it was bigger, but I have read, or heard or something, that once the stalk falls over, that's when you're supposed to pick them. So I would say they only got twice as big. I was kind of thinking that they would be grocery store size onions. And I will say that the best thing to keep down my weeds, like my onions were the very first thing I planted. And what I put as mulch was dead leaves. And that has kept down the weeds better than anything. So that's a mental note for next year. This right here is a golden zucchini. I only have male flowers on there right now. This one also is a golden zucchini plant. And I don't know if you can see, there's one zucchini. It hasn't fully developed. It's pretty small, so I'll get that later. Like, I'll give it another few days. And that zucchini is, like, that plant is the one that I got that half green, half yellow zucchini from. It was really weird. All right, so I have a few more tomato plants. I have tons and tons and tons of tomato plants. And see the cardboard? I'm just desperately trying to keep these weeds down. All right, so this plant, maybe it in the shade where you can see it better. Those flowers are bell peppers. And here's more tomatoes, which is falling over into my... It's so hard. I planted a lot of tomatoes, but once, like at different varieties and stuff. But man, once they have tomatoes, they fall over. Anyway, that's still my golden zucchini. And then, let's see, here's another. See, I planted everything too close together. This right here, you can see the flowers, is more bell pepper. This tiny baby thing right here, that is a green zucchini. It's taken a little while to grow. And this one is a green zucchini, and it already has a male flower on it. And I'm happy about that because it's doing what it's supposed to. All right, take a look. I bought 4 cauliflower plants, and they did terrible. First of all, the bugs got them. And then why is it turning purple? It didn't even get like a big head on it. Look at this one. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's hardly anything in there. And this one, well, look at this one right here. I know there's grass in the way, but seriously, I can't eat that. I'm so disappointed about my cauliflower because I don't know what to do with it. All right, and then I really am needing your help with my romaine, okay? So I will show you. I'm going to come down right here. All right, see, that's a romaine. And what I've been doing is I've just been pulling leaves off. Well, okay, not the dead ones. I've just been pulling leaves off so that I can eat them in a salad. Is that the way I'm supposed to do it? I don't even know. Are they supposed to get this tall? Look, it's beginning to flower. Surely that's bad, right? Look at, there's one there. I planted a ton of romaine. See that black thing that's supposed to be keeping my weeds down? Just like this over here. The weeds are terrible. I gotta come up with a better idea for next year. I know like the dead leaves work really well. I did try to put straw down because I was told that straw is really good for keeping the weeds down, but they're not. It's not, because the weeds find their way through the straw. This bucket is just a bucket to keep the weeds down, and it's collecting rainwater, but not on purpose. All right, a couple more things. This right here is cabbage, and my cabbage is doing great. So I already picked one, and I was told that that's all that I'll get per plant is one cabbage. This one's not doing so well. I don't really know why. I planted them all at the same time. I have kept the weeds back to a certain degree, but you know, I'm living and learning. Okay, in here, I don't even know if this is going to work out because it's just so wet. But what I have in here are potatoes. And you can see a little tiny bit of a potato sticking out right there. That's probably no good, huh? What about this one? Do I need to cover that? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. They had roots on them, so I planted them. But it's so damp in there just because it rained yesterday. So, and I needed it. I wanted it to be in a raised bed because my potatoes, because they're easier to dig up because our ground is really hard. Here's one more cabbage plant. Isn't that one beautiful? I'm super excited. It's very pretty. It's kind of small. See? Not very big right now. I hope it's going to grow bigger. Anyway, that is my garden. All of this stuff here, weeds. And then I've got, you know, chicken wire around it, around the whole garden. Initially it was to keep the chickens out because they were digging up, like I had actual potatoes like with long stalks and stuff, and the chickens took them out. I was really upset about it. And I haven't been able to get my potatoes to grow since then. I'm going to show you one more thing. But I don't really need the fence in anymore because the chickens don't bother it. And even if the chickens did go in there, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay, so this is my compost bin. This is my current one that I'm using right now. So I'm throwing compost and stuff in there. And then this is the old one that I used last year. And when I say compost, I mean when a quail dies, when a duck dies, when my chickens have died. When we've got chopped up vegetables from the kitchen, I put that in those stuff, all right? All this, weeds, were growing inside my compost bin. And so I pulled out like about half of the weeds. It's kind of a lot of work to pull the weeds out of the compost. But I actually use the compost in the garden. That's probably why my garden is so overgrown with weeds. But I wanted to show you. Okay, so here's my wheelbarrow. Look at this. I'm telling you, tomatoes grow so randomly out here. I did not plant this tomato plant, and it is already 3.5 feet tall. That's pretty funny, huh? Anyway, that's my garden. If you have any tips or suggestions, it would be super helpful because I really don't know what I'm doing gardening. I can't work out here more than just a few minutes a day because it's just so hot. And when I say hot, I just mean like humid. And the humidity makes it feel a lot hotter than it is. And it's like, it literally is like taking a shower. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Anyway, also, if you have any ideas on how I can get my ducks into the pool, I mean, I guess I could just pick one of them up and throw it in, but I don't know. I don't want to traumatize them. Anyway, that's my life for now. I just wanted to give you an update and ask you about my garden and share with you about my garden. And I love you, and I'm talking to Kimberly. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.